Health Check is presented by
Island Cancer Center.
The death of a loved one is never an easy experience, and while many may find comfort in family and friends, sometimes it takes more to get over the grief. That's why Health Services of the Pacific offers a free 6-week support group. HSP Medical Social Service Supervisor Jared Ivey is a facilitator for the support groups. He says because HSP specializes in hospice care, it's only fitting that they provide bereavement counseling as well. Hospice care is end-of-life care.
Don't try and grieve alone. Grieving alone, like shutting people out, isolating, it intensifies the experience. A lot of times we have family, we have friends to kind of help us through the roller coaster of different emotions that happen when we lose someone to death. But there's really no preparing for it, so what the Grief and Loss Support Group is designed to do, and it's a 6-week group, it's free of charge. It's a confidential, supportive setting where you can basically be around other people who are also experiencing or working through that healing process.
Although grieving is different for everyone, participants can expect a trusting, supportive environment to understand the normal reactions to grief and to acknowledge and understand their losses.
It's just an acknowledgement that every one of us grieves when we lose a loved one. So when a loved one dies, we experience it in different ways, but none of us can really get through that experience on our own.
And for those who refuse to acknowledge their loss, Ivy says they risk extending that grieving period.
The consequences of not grieving is that you risk extending that grief period, right? So we're taught in society, like, we don't really talk about death. We don't like to prepare for death, right? And none of us are ever really prepared for the death of a loved one. Even those families who have their loved ones in hospice who have been diagnosed with a terminal illness and expect them to die within 6 months. Even then, when the death actually does occur, it's still a shock. There's still numbness. There's still anger. But when you have a supportive system in place, and when you know and give yourself permission to be gentle with your heart, to be gentle with the process, then you have a good grieving process.
The next support group starts March 3rd and will run on Monday evenings for 6 weeks. Registration per cycle caps at 10 people. For more information, call 647-5355 extension 205. With this week's Health Check report, I'm Crystal Paco.
Health Check is presented by
Island Cancer Center.